Today I'm going to show you a couple of ways to draw line art for your characters. The most important thing you want to keep in mind when drawing line art and inking your characters is the line weight. Depending on the style you're going for, you can either have a heavy line weight, a light line weight, or a mix of the two for a more dynamic style. So first off, let's start with the heavy line weight. Here in Clip Studio Paint, I have a couple of characters that I'm ready to ink, and the character on the left I want to use a heavy line weight, and the character on the right I want to use a light line weight. So to ink your characters with a heavy line weight, you want to draw thicker and bigger lines. And for this, I'm not using any pen pressure in Clip Studio. Just one size brush for the outline of the character, and then a smaller size brush for the interior details. One thing you want to keep in mind when you're doing this style of inking is the thicker the lines are, the harder it is to draw details. So you want to keep that in mind. And this style of inking looks a little bit more cartoony, and I definitely like how it looked, how it came out. It's pretty cool.
It's we doing. It's we doing.
So now it's time to ink the character on the right. And for this character, what I want to do is use a light line weight. Same thing, I'm not using any pen pressure for this one. The only thing is I'm using smaller lines to ink the character. When you're thinking about using a lighter line weight, you want to draw the lines very thin. Doing this allows you to get a more realistic style, and also allows you to draw more details in the character. I really did like how the character turned out. Using thin lines makes it a little bit more realistic, less cartoony, and like I said before, it just depends on your style and what you want to go for with your characters. But this isn't looking bad either. I like how this came out. I enjoyed doing this. One thing though is that it did take me a little bit longer to draw or ink the character with a lighter line weight, just because the lines are smaller and there's more intricate details to draw. And in comparison to the heavier line weight, like I said, you can't really draw that many details with the heavier line weight. So with the light line weight, you can definitely get into detail more, and it really helps for hatching and cross hatching and shading like that. Alright, so now that I have the heavy line work done and the light line work done, I'm going to go in and show you how you can combine the two, heavy and light. I'm going to ink both characters using this technique and show you how dynamic of a style you can get when you combine a heavy line weight and a light line weight. And to do that, it's really easy when you use a digital software like Clip Studio. You can just turn on the pressure opacity or pen pressure, and you can get a light or heavy pen stroke depending on how hard or light you press on the screen. And so using this method of combining the two, I'm gonna ink these two characters. For this, I'm using pen pressure. I have the pen pressure setting on, and I'm gonna combine both heavy and light. This is for if you want more control over your line art and want a more dynamic style. You can try combining the two. With this, you can draw thinner and thicker lines all in one stroke of the pen. And this helps create thick lines when you press harder on the screen and thinner lines when you draw lightly on the screen. I prefer doing it this way just because it looks a little bit more dynamic. The line weight makes it a little bit more interesting for me. But this is all your preference, whether you want to combine a heavy and light or just do one or the other. When I'm drawing shadows, I like to usually draw them under the neck, in between creases of clothes, and sometimes on the ground of the character. And so whatever style of inking you go with, I think they all look pretty good. It just really depends on what you're going for and what your style is and what you want to create. But for me, I definitely like combining both a heavy line weight and a light line weight together to create something a little bit more dynamic. Looks good, and I'm just happy with how these drawings came out. Definitely some good practice. If you want to do this yourself, you can try doing what I did, creating two characters and inking them in different styles, with different line weights, and seeing which one you prefer, like I have. Alright, so after inking the two characters while using both the heavy and the light technique of line weight, this is what I have. And so on the left here, I have the character with the heavy line art. On the right, I have the character with the light line art. So hopefully this video helped you understand the basics of line weight in your drawings, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.